Good morning, Mr. Thompson.
Good morning. This time next week I'll be 66 years old.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
And on that, my sister concerned about me climbing those steps. Hope that soon that we get the elevator situated because cousin I know my sister has it and she get pretty upset if something happened to me, hoping that don't. We got this thing that we got in the mail about this mail-in ballot for that people trying to be slick, but they're not slick enough. They know that they're in trouble, so we watch and get real close. This time of year we have to be real careful with the mentally ill, bipolar, and schizophrenia, especially because they don't have to take the medicine, and when they hear them voices, they're very dangerous. So we have to be careful with that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner, for those comments.
Make a motion to acknowledge the report from Brother Turner.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Real, that we acknowledge Mr. Turner's comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Just come forward. Yeah.
Can I make a comment on Mr. Alvin about
That's
the elevator? I hate to say it, but our elevator has completely gone out. So we're facing to have a new elevator, and it's probably going to take about 6 months to a year to get it fixed.
It's the original elevator.
Yeah, we got to replace the whole thing.
The whole
we were trying to get some parts and we couldn't source them. And so because we couldn't source the parts, now we got to get a new elevator.
Morning, I'm Shelton Jones.
Good morning, Mr. Allen.
Thank you for hearing me out. First, I want to commend this board on a job well done in the cell of a hospital. Y'all really did a smash-up job on planning it, executing it, and carrying it out. And we appreciate that very much because I think the citizens are going to benefit greatly from this at this time. I would wish to present a petition to you. This petition to the Octavia County Board of Supervisors urging the establishment of a reserve and trust fund from the proceeds of the sale of the Octavia County Hospital. Octavia County residents have a unique opportunity to ensure a prosperous and sustainable future by urging the Octavia County Board of Supervisors to wisely manage the proceeds from the recent sale of the Citizens Hospital. Be it resolved that the undersigned citizens urge the Octavia County Board of Supervisors vote to allocate all the proceeds from the sale of the hospital to a secure and reserved trust fund. By adopting this approach, our community can benefit from enhanced infrastructure without future overburdening local taxpayers. The Lowndes County, Mississippi Reserve and Trust Fund serves as an excellent model. Established in 2006 with a $30 million Lowndes County received from the proceeds of their county hospital. By the foresight and strategic planning of the Lowndes County supervisors, this fund has led to substantial financial stability and growth for Lowndes County as the funds have successfully supported critical projects that are benefiting their residents long term. Octavia County can emulate these proven strategies by mirroring the Lowndes County Reserve and Trust Fund, thereby ensuring that our recent hospital sales proceeds not only serve near future needs, but also provide for future generations. This type of an initiative will guarantee a well-managed and strategic investment into our county's future, tackling both current and unforeseeable infrastructure needs with a stable foundation set for future growth in value. The residents of Octavia County deserve no less than to gain upgraded roads, improved public facilities, and thriving community spaces that are possible only through the prudent allocation and future management and growth of this once-in-a-lifetime available capital. Together, we can impact the future of Octavia County for ourselves, our children, and grandchildren. We, the undersigned, implore the Octavia County Board of Supervisors to realize the full potential of these funds and vote to immediately put them to work for us by establishing a reserve and trust fund reflective of the Lowndes County Reserve and Trust Fund, with all the proceeds from the sale of the hospital. The citizens of this community deserve no less than this sustainable and dependable solution. I have about 12 pages of signatures from citizens who have come forward just in the last week. Some of these pages you'll note have signatures front and back, and I wish to have these put in the public records, if we could, of this meeting. And I encourage you, please, follow what the citizens apparently wish. And I approached no one that said, no, I'm not going to sign that. Everybody I approached, this is just within the last week, signed it. Give me a copy of that. I want to circulate it. So I think we'll be seeing more of these as time goes on, but you could go ahead and do this today. Start the process of the reserve and trust fund. Thank you, thank you. Finish the job.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Motion to acknowledge. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little, that we acknowledge Mr. Jones's comments. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Would there be anyone else that would like to come and approach the board for up to 3 minutes? Yes, sir. Come forward.
I'm Buddy Staggers.
Morning, Mr. Davis.
Very nice. Thank y'all for letting me come up and speak to you. I'm going to be somewhat repetitious for what Mr. Jones said, but sometimes repetition is good. I've been a resident of Octavia County for 74 years, and I got to thinking this morning, I'm the third generation of citizens of Octavia County. And I have the fourth and the fifth, my son and daughter-in-law and their 9-month-old baby. What we do with this $58 million pot of money that's fallen into our lap is multi-generational. It's an opportunity for us to do something I don't think it ever happened in my grandfather's generation, my daddy's generation. That certainly hadn't happened in my generation. And I doubt it'll happen in the generation, the two and behind me, that will ever have an opportunity like this. Shelton said we need to put this $58 million, every dollar of it, from the proceeds of the OCH sale, and put it into an investment vehicle similar to what's been done in other counties, not just Lowndes, it's been done other places I would mention. And the key word here is all of it, not some of it. Don't spend some of it. For every dollar we don't put in this endowment, we're giving up future growth of a growing principal balance in this trust fund, plus the earnings that y'all can use for very important county. And I know y'all get stressed out over having enough money to do things, and I understand that. But this is not one-time money for recurring expenses. Is not. That's business 101 I learned at Mississippi State. You don't use one-time money like $58 million to go do reoccurring things. The results of what Shelton described and what I'm describing will be a growing balance and a growing amount of money to provide for county projects. This board can go down in history of doing a healthcare. I don't know what I seconded, but selling OCH and getting Baptists in here is the greatest thing y'all have done in your tenure, I can assure you. Thank you very much for that. And remember, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to consider. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tackett. Motion to acknowledge. Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Would there be anyone else that would like to approach the board? About the 3 minutes.
I would like to just introduce myself on behalf of my father,
Absolutely.
Robert Robertson. I'm just here on behalf of him and representing him today. He is not in town today. And I just want to acknowledge that I'm here, not him. I know you probably saw me walk in and went, who is that? So I just want to acknowledge that. I'm Marley Hoxie, and it's very nice to be here.
Thank you so much. And thank you for filling in for Rob. He does a wonderful job, and I'm sure you will too. But I think he's supposed to be available by phone, correct?
He will be available by telephone very shortly.
Okay, thank you so much. If there's not anyone else, we've got Mr. Taggart in the audience with us today. He's director of the partnership, and Mr. Taggart, come forward and speak to us this morning.
All right, good morning. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak. Is this okay right here?
Absolutely.
I'm here for the same reason as our previous other couple of speakers, to just kind of talk about the proceeds from the hospital and how to invest that, and just our recommendation. But you know, and again, most of the meat of this conversation has already been stated, so that's the disadvantage of going last, I guess. But I wanted to say too, to start our comments by recognizing the good work of the board already, because you know, we wouldn't even be having this kind of conversation if it hadn't been for the board taking the action to. It's difficult. It was difficult a couple of years ago when you had to readdress the financial situation of the hospital, and it was even more difficult to go through and to consider selling the hospital. So we thank you for that. That took a lot of leadership. It took a lot of courage to do that locally and to address that. And I think you've already heard too that we're already seeing the benefits of that and what it's going to do for healthcare in our community, you know, long term. But that does bring us to the proceeds for the hospital. And so, you know, a lot of this has already been stated, but this does represent, you know, a cliche, but a once in a lifetime opportunity to have that windfall of funds that come to you, and how to deal with that, how to use that. The partnership recently, and I hope that's been circulated to you, I think it has, but you know, we passed a resolution that kind of talked about the investment of the funds. We think that's somewhere between 55 and 58 million, so generally speaking, in that neighborhood of funds. And so we passed a resolution asking you to consider the full investment of that, because we do think that it represents a one-time, long-term, meaningful source of income for you. And so this is not a critique of your current needs. We fully acknowledge and respect that each and every day you have needs that are out there that are critical. You have services that have to be funded. You have all these different needs that are within the county. So this is not a criticism of that. Our only hope is to help support you so that you have more funding in the future to do these valuable projects. So that's the only goal here of our comments. We believe that investing the full amount of the funds will benefit this board and this county longer term than just, you know, using a portion of it for current expenses, current projects, and then coming back and investing some of it, maybe whatever your decisions are. But we do know that, you know, it's pretty simple that if we can look at this long term, if we talk about the sustainability of these funds, that it'll benefit you and your projects. It could have an impact on all kinds of projects in your community, whether they're road projects, which, you know, I personally have an affinity for those myself. Everybody loves to pave a road. Nobody likes it more than I do, I can assure you. But instead of paving, you know, one road today, this is an opportunity to think about it longer term and pave many, many more roads in the future. And so, you know, it's also an opportunity for, you know, whatever your needs are and your priorities are as a board going forward, whether it's public education or public safety or healthcare itself, reinvesting this back into that. it's going to be meaningful. And so we do know that just simply by looking at your, 100% versus say 80% of your funding, and that's just an example that I made up, 100% versus 80%. We do know that over time that yields tens of millions of dollars in additional income for you and revenue for you. We're hoping that you would see this as a new sustainable source of income for yourself. And to that point, just so you know, the partnership is not here asking you for any specific project. We're not asking you to divert a single dime of these funds for a project. We want these to be used for what you consider to be your priorities in the community. We're just simply asking that you consider the long-term investment potential for that would give you even more resources for that. These proceeds could be turned into that permanent source of income. And it also represents a potential opportunity to use these funds for decades to come for matching funds. We all know that there are, on the state and the federal end, there's lots of opportunities there for matching funds. And it depends on the program. Every time the administration changes, the matching situation will move around on you a little bit, so it's hard to plan. But this does represent, some of the projects are 1-to-1, some can be 80-20, 90-10, you name it. But this would represent, too, a long-term opportunity to use those for matching funds, which, again, it gives you an opportunity to amplify the effect of each and every one of those dollars. And so, as I mentioned, our board, we understand and we appreciate the leadership that y'all have already shown in dealing with healthcare and the financial situation of the hospital, the decisions you've made with Baptist. I think that, too, is going to be a generational positive impact here in Oktibbeha County that we're going to all look back on and understand how valuable that was. By fully investing these once-in-a-lifetime funds, that's going to give you a chance to build something everlasting. I mean, it's really, truly an opportunity for that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to use these funds going forward for all those different reasons we just mentioned, whether it's education or public safety, charitable needs, healthcare itself, and of course infrastructure. I know y'all deal with that as much as anything. But we simply ask that you would take this one-time money and not use it for reoccurring expenses. That's really vital here because it diminishes your long-term budget. It diminishes your long-term need for addressing all kinds of projects. And so we ask that you would consider this moment, this is a one-time opportunity that you've got in front of you. And so the legacy of what this fund could be and what it could mean going forward is really important to all of us. OCH was built and paid for along the way many, many decades ago. I mean, this started generations ago at the Oktibbeha County Hospital. And first it was Oktibbeha Hospital, and then became Oktibbeha County Hospital, and then it became the Regional Medical Center over time. And, all of the taxpayers along the way for generations back have sourced and funded that opportunity. And so it only makes sense that we would think about ways that we could pay it forward. We could pay it forward to not only addressing your needs today, but just for generations. And so we appreciate your time. We appreciate the tough decisions that you make. We value our working relationship with you, and we just respectfully ask that you consider the use of these funds in that manner. So,
thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I think I said director, but CEO.
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Mr. Taggart, for those comments. We need a motion to acknowledge. Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer, that we acknowledge comments coming from Mr. Mike Taggart. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Would there be anyone else that would like to approach the board for up to 3 minutes?
I was going to have this opportunity to let y'all know petitions speak volumes. I enjoy actually anytime I've had them kind of going through there and reading the signatures. It does take a lot to put your name on anything. I don't, unless somebody on board, there won't be any motion today. There won't be any action. So you're more than welcome to stick around as long as you want to stick around. But people will filter out in your own time. Anything this board does, I'll say first of all, I've said this over and over to this board, the amount of things that we've gotten accomplished within 2 years is at a point now the board we're kind of sitting back and taking a deep breath, and it happened a lot faster than I even envisioned it to happen. So this board has done tremendous work, first of all. Second of all, anything we do as a board will obviously be out in the open and transparent, so it would play out over. I thought it was going to be quicker. I've been told it may take months and months to get to the state legislature, and so I'll make sure to contact a few of y'all in the room and get the word out if there's something coming up on this, because it is an open and transparent process through the process. So I'm sure I probably said something wrong. You may want to correct
Oh,
me on
absolutely
some of
not.
that, but nothing's going to be today and nothing's going to be overnight. It's a little longer than I thought it was going to be. So I know Attorney Robertson's not here, but I'm thinking it's even into the spring. Is that what we're kind of getting from our attorney, that this is a lot longer than I thought? But I thank each and every one of y'all for coming today. I actually read through every front and back of every signature. But just want to let y'all know I don't envision anything happening today at all. So y'all are welcome to stay as long as you want to, but I didn't want somebody to stay the whole time thinking that we were going to make any action on that. So
We certainly do appreciate you all, and we listen. This board welcomes input from the citizens about Duval County, because that's who we're here to serve. And I do want to assure you that it is not lost upon this board that this is an opportunity that we will probably never ever have again. I think I jokingly told a couple of people we don't have a couple more hospitals sitting around that we can say them. So we do realize that. I can say that this board has been extremely responsible, extremely knowledgeable. They do their research, and whatever decision this board comes to, you can rest assured that it will be something that will be very beneficial for Duval County, and I can make that promise to you. So we certainly do appreciate all the input, and we ask for your continued input.
And I just want to say one other thing that I don't know if it was not clear. I wanted to make it real clear that we have already agreed to, and the legislation for a trust has already been put in the works, for that.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted y'all to be clear that we know the levity of it, and we will be very fiscally responsible, for it. So we already have that in the works, and we will be researching, financial vehicles, which are the best ways to go. People come in, and we will be hopefully engaging experts that will guide us through that process. So it won't be a process that will happen today or tomorrow or next month. It's going to be a little while coming, but we don't want to make a hasty decision to where we look back on it and say, well, we should have done some more research and we should have looked at this or that. We want to take the opportunity and the time to go through all of it, because we didn't sell the hospital overnight, so we're not going to invest the money, overnight. We want to make sure it's the safest, best vehicle and way to do it. But whatever that is, this board will be very, very financially responsible doing that.
Absolutely.
And we thank you very much.
if y'all are here this morning and are here in support of this measure that Mr. Jones said, would you just raise your hand for a second? Thank you. Y'all are welcome to stay as long as you want to.
I have more petitions, but I'll just give them to Mr. Carpenter as they come to me.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Is there anybody else before we close citizens comment period that would like to approach the board? If not, this portion of our agenda is now closed. Again, thank you all so much for being here this morning.
Thank y'all for serving.
Absolutely. Now we'll move on to our next item on the agenda. We have Mr. Barry Christ coming about the Johnny B. Lane project. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Put my glasses on. First, like to thank the board for their invitation to explain our perspective on the Johnny B. Lane paving project. I'm speaking on behalf of my mother, Nancy Christ, who has joined us. Also joining us are Robert Knowles, Euphoria Rogers, and Chandalyn Robertson, which represent the 4 households living on Johnny B. Lane. You'll find at the front of your package a copy of a letter signed to each of the 4 residents of Johnny B. Lane, and I'd like to read that into the record. We, the residents of Johnny B. Lane, are collectively writing concerning the proposed paving of the subject road. we request that the right-of-way be legally established by a meets and bounds survey and agreed by all parties prior to construction and paving of the subject roadway. We also request that we be provided a copy of the plan view which illustrates the alignment of the proposed roadway relative to our respective properties. This will ensure that after the roadway is constructed, no additional right-of-ways will be required. And we ask the board to give our request due consideration, and that's signed by the residents of Johnny B. Lane. I hope that after my presentation, you'll recognize the reasonableness of their request. I want to give a brief history of Johnny B. Lane. In 1963, my parents moved to the location where my mother still resides on what is known as Johnny B. Lane. In 1963, my father reconstructed a long abandoned roadway from the 1800s, which was located on the western edge of his and my grandmother's farm. It was a one-lane gravel road, and this section remains a one-lane gravel road till today. This work was performed exclusively at my father's expense. You will note a survey from 1964, which was performed when my father and grandmother donated a lot to the Adeton Water Association for drilling of the association's first well. You will note that the area which is now Johnny B. Lane is noted as a private road and is located on property described on my parents' deed. My father maintained and gravelled the road at his sole expense up until around 1990. To which point the county requested that it be dedicated as a public road, to which both my parents agreed. No deeds were drawn up, thus no legal transfer of the property occurred, but the transfer was agreed, and it's an agreement my mother intends to honor. Sometime thereafter, Don Posey, the county administrator, came to my parents' house to inform them that the road was going to be named Guy B. Lane, to which my father requested that the road be named after his father, John Barry Christ, otherwise known to his friends as Johnny B. So they weren't Chuck Berry fans. In 1997, Mr. Knowles purchased a lot approximately 500 feet north of the end of Johnny B. Lane's termination point. Note the county road register listing the length at 0.25 miles. Mr. Knowles, at his expense, constructed the northern portion of the road. He moved over from the east side to the west side of the possession line between adjoining properties. He extended the road approximately 600 feet north from its original termination point. Mr. Knowles maintained the road at his expense for a number of years prior to the county taking over maintenance of this section. Mr. Knowles granted an easement to a private party to use the roadway where it crosses his property, as well as he's allowed others to use the roadway to access their property, but he has not signed any additional easements. You will find attached an undated survey that was used to subdivide the Odie Rush estate. This survey was performed by Junie Goodman. You'll find attached a 1997 survey performed by Mr. Goodman, where Miss Charlotte Valentine donated a 2-acre lot to the Josie Creek Missionary Baptist Church. You'll find attached a 2009 survey where my parents donated a 1-acre lot to the Josie Creek Missionary Baptist Church. As well, this survey resolves a Scrivener's error on the original well lot survey. You'll find attached a 2010 survey where the Valentine family donated an easement for a sewage spray field of the Josie Creek Missionary Baptist Church. This survey was performed by Mr. Springer. What is in common with all of these surveys is that they depict Johnny B. Lane being on property described on my parents' deed. With regards to the northern portion of Johnny B. Lane, 2 additional lots have subsequently been sold between Mr. Knowles' lot and the original termination of Johnny B. Lane. The descriptions on these lots appear to have been created without the aid of a survey, but rather using the Goodman survey from which Mr. Knowles' lot was described. Unfortunately, the bearing of the line from the point of commencement to the point of beginning is inconsistent with all of the other surveys, 2 of which were performed by Mr. Goodman, the same surveyor of the Knowles lot. It appears the bearing in question is merely a projection of a bearing from the adjoining fence. The inconsistency is clearly illustrated in the 2020 survey when Mr. Knowles sold a portion of his lot. Ms. Robertson's lot is actually described on her deed approximately 800 feet north of its actual location. These inconsistencies call into question the location of the northern portion of the road relative to Miss Robertson's and Miss Rogers' lot. The northern portion of the road clearly passes over the eastern portion of Mr. Knowles' lot, where he is only granted an easement to a private individual. I've attached a letter from the property owner located to the east of Mr. Knowles, Miss Rogers, and Miss Robertson's lot. He has expressed his willingness to work cooperatively with the county on this project, but he also requires legally defined right-of-way prior to donating property. All of the residents of Johnny B. Lane stand ready to cooperate with the county, but they would all like to understand the layout of the road and how the right-of-ways legally are defined prior to construction. Out of respect for the demands of this board's time, I've covered this material very quickly. I'll be happy to sit down with any of the board members, either individually or collectively, or their representatives to review in more detail. I'll be happy to share additional material in the event the Board of Supervisors chooses to appoint a surveyor to help resolve these issues. I believe this is an appropriate course of action to avoid future disagreements. I know I don't have to remind the board that Octavia County operates on a unit system, so you each have equal authority, but also equal responsibility for this road and this project. In closing, the residents of Johnny B. Lane all feel it would be in their interest and the county's interest to define the right-of-way prior to construction rather than after construction. I personally believe it is required by state law that the county hold title to the roadway fee simple before moving forward with construction. And I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your reasoned consideration in this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Christ, for coming.
How long is the roadway?
It's about 3/8 of a mile. The original roadway was a 1/4 mile, but then Mr. Knowles built another 600 feet on mile. Yeah.
It's us at .25 in District 1, the original registration, then you maintain the other.
Well, Mr. Knowles built the last 600 feet, and then nobody remembers exactly when the county started doing the maintenance on that. I've looked, and it's my understanding your attorney has looked at length, and we can't find any formal adoption of the roadway, and they're no legally defined what the right of way actually is.
Have we ever done any kind of surveying work or any kind of prep work on this road, Mr. President?
I'm not sure the status on Johnny B, but our standard procedure is establish center line, establish a beginning and ending point, and furnish a right-of-way plat that shows the intended right-of-way and the respective property owners, left, right, along that right-of-way. And then we would submit that to Attorney Robertson, who would go and secure the right-of-way. So, in essence, there shouldn't be any work done until the right-of-way is secured. And we would state that center line along the road and state the proposed right-of-way so the individual property owners could see it.
Our board attorney is well aware of the process, so we're in the works with that. Thank you, Mr. Price. Motion to acknowledge. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda, we have our fire coordinator, Mr. Patrick Warner. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. I don't have too big of a ask today. I come today to ask board approval to get the road department to cut, well, let me take a step back. What we got is 2 trees behind the Bell Schoolhouse Fire Department that are dead. Here's a picture of the tree I got right here. Big trees. They're right on the fence line. I did go to the, since they were on the fence line, I went to the property owner and got the property owner's permission just to be on the safe side. And I'm here today to ask the road department to come down for us before they follow our fire station.
That'll be part of our contract with the tree cutter?
Yeah, that could be some of the trees. We just need to make sure we've got legal documentation, right of entry, documents signed before we can enter and remove those trees. And we need to make sure we're establishing that it is a danger to county property, which it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Would this permission work? He sent me a text message.
Well, we've actually got a form that we need to get his signature, right of entry and everything.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Well, I can get that done, that's no problem.
Make a motion to approve the request.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we've got our county engineer, Mr. Pritchard. Good morning.
Good morning. If y'all haven't seen the Dr. Pepper commercial where they come put the coach on a hot seat and he said, "We're winning."
Yeah, I saw it
He's up
yesterday.
by 24, you know, we won. Y'all are winning and you're on a hot seat. So, before I introduce Mr. Duncan, I'd like to share just a couple of things with you this morning, and I'll reverse my own agenda because Ben has stepped out. But we have quite a bit of work awarded in the county. Most of that work, with the exception of Moore High Robinson, which is a state aid project, has been suspended until the spring at the request of the contractors and pending weather. We have executed the change order for Bethel Road, but all of that work is gonna happen basically in the spring. You may see some signs up, you may see some cutouts, this and that, but the bulk is coming on time.
Talk about the change order for Moore High. Change order for Moore High.
The Moore High change order will come within the next couple of meetings. We've developed that. Along that line, I've got an updated status of funds from state aid. You'll see that we're, as I told you before, we're upside down in our LSBP and our state aid bridge money. You have something almost 164,000 in your state aid road funds right now. The reason I pass that out again, I think I told you sometime before, we anticipated about 77,000 for balance right now. That's actually 164 and growing. State aid is having a bit of an issue, like everybody else, figuring out when it's coming, when they're gonna get it, and at what rate they get it. We do know in the next board term, to remind you, your state aid funding is gonna double in the next term, as a minimum. So that's where you are right now. You got 164 available and it's growing, and we'll get an update hopefully in the next month. Okay? Any questions about that? I've got for you here, sometime back, the board authorized us to assist MSU with developing an estimate for a lane widening on Blackjack Road, essentially from the roundabout going back towards town. Supervisor Williams, that was to help alleviate some of that traffic. Well, we've developed that estimate. There's nothing for y'all to do now, other than the state, MSU will pick this up, start developing their grant application for roads. So nothing to do, but I wanted you to kind of see what we've done. I emailed that, Willis Owens emailed that to you this morning, Mr. Carpenter, so you got it electronically. Here's a hard copy if you want to see what we're doing. It essentially adds a lane from Stone Boulevard going back toward town to the best school so that traffic can continue to move and not back up. So here's copies of those. Again, I don't need any action on that. This is just information copy for you.
Being right there, is that in town, on campus, or in the county?
There's some of both and all the above.
But they're paying for it.
Is there any project sharing costs?
We don't know. MSU is going to develop a grant application to build and come back. But right now, the only cost y'all have in it is the cost of us developing this estimate for them.
What is the deal right there? Why is it always, when you're getting into town, is it just bottlenecks down to one lane, or?
There's 2 times a day, and oddly about 7 p.m. is one of them in the evening. But yeah, you have an influx of traffic from the college trying to come through that roundabout. The lane from the roundabout to Stone is a dedicated right turn into the campus. We're trying to take that dedicated turn out and let them go on through so that it doesn't back up.
It's a problem. I mean,
We're not gonna have a dedicated turn, that right turn that takes students into the campus anymore.
It won't be dedicated only as a right turn. They'll have the option to turn in right or
Okay,
continue
they
in.
keep straight.
Or keep
Okay,
straight.
that's good.
And the middle lane will be a left turn lane?
Yes, it will. But all that's still to be developed. This is just the first guess at what it's gonna cost so they can develop their grant application and look for some money.
You gonna send us a bill on this estimate?
I've asked Kim this morning to start pulling that time together to see what we got into that. And there is a board order at some point way back where y'all authorized that. Other than that, I've gotten the performance bonds and the payment bonds and the insurance for New Lake Road. And I'm asking the board, I know Rob's not here to glance at them, they're standard documents, but I'm asking the board for notice to proceed to give Falcon contracting for New Lake.
Move approval. Second.
There's a motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer, that we move forward, notifying the contractor on the New Lake Road project. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Ben, I understand John Weaver has a call into you about scheduling the road,
I'll get back with them.
and you and the contractor and John, and I'm willing to work, I'm available to do that. Other than that, my big agenda item is introduce Mr. Jeff Dungan.
Clyde, do you wanna handle that, utility agreement that, Davidson
We
in here?
can, that's
and what
from
we
Mr.
handle?
Manuel Moore to do a road bore on 16th Section Road. He called us, asked us to do it. We couldn't do it and approve it. So we had the Water Association develop a permit. We're fine with it. It lacks the signature from Clayton Village, but I'd ask the board to go ahead and approve that, keep them moving.
So move recommendation.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Wayne, I'll scan these bond documents in and send them to you. We got them literally Friday afternoon.
Clyde, I've got these signatures, I know you're looking for them.
Yeah,
Marvell missed a spot, I noticed. Let me get this last signature and I'll hand these to you.
And this phone, I don't have it.
who's on?
I missed the email, Mr. Weaver.
Jay Weaver.
Do you know his phone number?
No,
Can you text it to me?
yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, and reminder for the board, these are programs for LSBP jobs that y'all don't have any money for. But we're trying to get on the shelf for state aid, so when they start distributing this rescinded money, we'll be first in the list, or very close to the top. And we'll get these sent to state aid today.
I had a citizen that sent me some pictures of that, what we were talking about on West Reed Road. And I'll forward them to you. Look like we've got a little bit more washing. So Mr. Collins is here, so we may just have to.
May have to do something temporary while we put the LSBP together, and we'll be happy to get David or somebody out there. You know, certainly we won't do enough, keep it safe condition, but we are gonna replace that whole area right there with the project.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Supervisor Williams.
That has always been my wish and my plan, in that we have that turn to the right for the students to go on campus.
Yes, sir.
And the other motorists will keep straight. And I'm glad really that we can let the other motorists keep straight if they would like to. And that's a good plan, and I thank you for that. But would you talk a little bit more about the cut through? Now, there are two cut through roads basically that's coming. There was one that was proposed that will come off up top to Blackjack. And I don't know whether we're doing any development on that one or not, but I believe this one you're talking about is gonna Air State Boulevard to Artesia Road, maybe.
Those have been developed by others, but there is one, and y'all had passed motions on that, on going from Hell State Boulevard to Artesia.
Right.
And then the blackjack octot connector is kind of on mind's eye right now. There's not been a lot of work done on that yet. You know, we've talked for years about taking octot and turning it in behind the service stations, tying directly to Hardy Street right there, and making that little section by the apartments more or less a frontage road. And I think there's been some activity with MSU about securing some of that property to make that possible. But that's schematic design and some rough estimates that we worked on a couple of years ago, and that's all that's been done on that I know.
And then we also have that Wingo Way, project that.
Right.
That MSU's leading with HUD, I think is,
And
well, we're having to lead it, but they're
there's
doing the
some
work.
conversation with Jeremiah Dumas and Phyllis
Yes, sir.
and you
That's
about who's actually administering that.
Rob's been working through the memorandum of agreement.
Correct, correct.
The one you brought up for discussion today, would you talk a little bit about that one?
The one I brought up today, again, is a preliminary estimate to develop a new lane from Stone Boulevard, which is east side of the vet school there, and carry that lane past the vet school so that people coming from the east don't have to turn right into school. They can continue to go forward. And that should help relieve some of what's happening at the roundabout.
It looks like on there that it's gonna be like 3 lanes up there instead of 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll
Basically,
help.
right now, you get more people trying to go through than turn right, and that's backing up. We're trying to get more people to continue to go west toward town.
To pass Stone or to go back to 2-lane?
You go back to
Up
what
the
the
hill.
city's doing from Stone there. They've got a grant approved, and they're gonna make some improvements from there forward too.
It's a lot of apartment complexes been put out right up a quarter mile from there, a couple thousand beds.
More than a couple of
More
thousand.
more than that.
Yeah.
It's a
And
problem, but
quick
it's weird. It builds back and then it's gone in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know?
And
Like you said, it's 2
I
times a day.
can send you the traffic count, and it's gonna be kind of surprising to you.
7
what those
p.m.
occur. 7 p.m. is actually one. That's when the
Think it'll be-
students are headed to the bars. Any other questions for me?
Any update on the plans for Osborne Road?
Osborne Road is at state aid. We hope they give us permission to advertise today. We're crowding out too. I've got 81 more counties doing just what we're trying to do. We're trying to stack projects up in front of state aid. So we should award that one soon, advertise it and award it. And then, I shared with you back early in the fall about my plans to transition the company. Lord has blessed us, blessed me, and brought the Duncan organization into my path. And we feel like it's a good marriage, and Duncan Engineering will acquire my company come first of the year. Best I understand it, will I continue to work for y'all or not, it's gonna be up to y'all. And I plan to serve you for as long as you'll have it. A plus in the deal is the Duncans have roots in Ottaville County. A house in, Les Duncan owns the house out in Bryan Creek. Jeff Duncan, who's here today, I'm gonna come forward in a minute, got a house on Artesia Road. So they know the area and they're familiar with it. I'll say that we've actually started, merging the companies over a month ago. They brought their bridge folks in and met with our bridge folks. They brought their testing people up and talked to our testing people, our surveying people that worked on jobs together. And the assimilation of the companies has been amazing to me. It's more like folks that have been working together for years than folks that's just now getting to know each other. So very similar people, very similar philosophy, and we're proud to have them on board. So Jeff's here today to tell you a little bit about their organization and how he sees this thing moving forward, and I know he's happy to answer any questions that you might have. Okay? Mr. Duncan?
Thank you, Clyde. And thank you all for a chance to talk with you for just a minute. Is it okay if I sit down?
Yeah.
That's really nice. I've seen some of you around for a long time. I actually have been around Starkville since I graduated from Mississippi State in 1988. I married a Starkville girl, Renee Fuller. Her mother, Totsie Fuller, was a teacher. Her dad died when she was young. She has two brothers here, Marty Fuller and Greg Fuller. And so I do feel like Starkville is home. My brother and I started our company in 1993. Both of us got out of here and worked a few years, got a license, went in business together. And so for the past 30 years or 30 plus years, what we have been doing is mostly working with counties. It's our passion. Our company, our group of companies have grown steadily. We actually serve in support county engineering in 10 counties right now, and have done that for a long, long time. So we're very involved in that kind of work. The Association of Supervisors, we've worked very closely with them for a long time. And we were very excited when Clyde, when we realized the potential for this partnership with Clyde. I can't tell you how excited we were. Clyde is a bit of a legend in the engineering world in Mississippi, and especially with county engineering. And to get a chance to work with him is something that we're very excited about. Especially doing what we love to do and focusing on the engineering that helps counties to grow and to build their infrastructure and to help their people. I'm going to leave with you a little, just a brochure, or for lack of a better term, and I'll leave these for you to take. But it describes in writing some of the things I've already said, and some of what our vision is for being able to help Oklahoma County. We have, as Clyde mentioned, we operate with some partnerships. There are 6 other firms that will work with Pritchard Engineering, all specializing in different things, but all of them, the common thread is our foundation is county work. We're not a group that focuses on, MDOT work or DEQ work or whatever. Our focus is to know and understand what counties need and how we can help them with engineering and technical expertise. And so I won't go into some of those details, because as you're curious and as you need to know, you'll have this information. But basically, our combined resource is about 600 people, all engineering technical people. We work in Mississippi. Some of our storm-related work is all over the country, where we help after natural disasters, help communities recover, focusing on counties. A lot of storm cleanup type stuff. That has allowed us to have some really good technical resources with high-end surveying and scanning. We do a lot of roadway scanning for high definition video and LiDAR scanning. So Google Maps Street View, for lack of a better way to describe it. We do a lot of that to help counties assess roadways, damages to roadways after storms, what it would look like to fix them, that kind of thing. So, but as I said, mostly our passion is infrastructure related to county work, and that's why we're excited about this. Oklahoma County, there aren't many places in Mississippi to work like Oklahoma County. You all, as you know, you're very unique to have the county you have and what is here with the university and just the growing needs you have for infrastructure. So one of the things we love to do is to try to help figure out how to make a project work, how to get funding for a project. We do a lot of work looking for grant money, looking for funding for projects that we've been engaged, to help with. And so that's something that we hope to be able to help Clyde and help you guys with. We'll be very hands-on. We also
been involved in some countywide water, wastewater infrastructure projects where counties have saw the need to get into the water and wastewater infrastructure to promote development and help growth. And you know, the way to structure that and to fund that and build that out. So hopefully we can be an asset, come alongside with Clyde and be a good partner. You know, that's our goal. And to be here and to be available. I feel like you've had the experience of an engineer like Clyde for a long time in the county, so there's not a lot I can, if it's not broke, there's nothing there to fix. And that's not at all what we envisioned. We just envisioned being able to come alongside and give some deeper resources, you know, a little bit bigger team that's got maybe some expertise that'll help. So be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Still, just with chain of command, contact Clyde on everything, or is that? What will be y'all envision? The second thing you had me on everything till call him 11. I'm gonna have his head.
Well,
he's done really good for us. I appreciate y'all doing this collaboration. But do we still business as usual? Is that the best way to?
Yes, to answer your question, what our vision is, Clyde. There's still a lot of energy. Clyde is still passionate about what he does. We don't want to fix things that aren't broke, but we want to provide you with any additional resources. Obviously, as Clyde moves toward the end of his career, whatever that might look like, hopefully this will provide a good way to transition into whatever's next. But that's not something that's something that, like any engineer, that's just something that's out there for all of us as our career moves forward. So.
When you spoke words, I like to hear LiDAR and roadway. This is also our IT guy here, Mr. Zill's got a few things. Maybe y'all can get together on
absolutely
some technology that he has being integrated. And then wastewater, you spoke that too. In time, I'm sure you know everything going on, but in time, some of the big things this county's, like I said earlier with other groups, this county's gotten so much done in the last couple of years. It's at a point as a board of going, what are our next priorities? We've got the comprehensive plan we're working on and integrate that in. And roadways and wastewater are always the buzzwords.
Yes, sir. Well, those are things that we've had some experience doing over the last 30 years that we love to do. And so any way we can help. To give you an example of it, since you brought up the video and LiDAR, so what we have done in the state of Florida, for example, and it's mostly in their hurricane preparedness, but we have scanned every mile of every public road in the state of Florida the last couple of years so that they have up-to-date video and LiDAR information prior to hurricane season. And then if a hurricane impacts an area, we'll go back and do it again to develop the damage assessments for their FEMA projects and reimbursement. Now, that's a little bit unique, but what that technology does, just like you're saying, it applies to lots of other things. And for a county like Octavia County, if you need information, we have an established system, a way to do that quickly and relatively inexpensively. Yeah, that's something really neat. It's kind of an emerging technology. It kind of changes every day and gets better. So.
Anything else?
Yeah, goodbye. I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. Please go ahead. Has Duncan thought much about the upkeep and the pavement of gravel roads?
Yes, sir.
Where the technology is going in relation to that?
Yes, sir. So obviously, a paved road is better than a gravel road, but it's kind of hard to get there without a lot of money. One of the things that I really think, and Clyde and I hadn't talked about this specifically, but I think you would agree with me, there are lots of ways to take a gravel road and reduce the maintenance. But cement is still a very good option. There are lots of other things out there, but it's hard to beat reclaiming with cement for the life cycle cost. And I don't know if I answered your question, but that's.
forgive my ignorance, but, from an administrative standpoint, in January, we're gonna have to reappoint, county engineer. I'm assuming that we would reappoint, Mr. Pritchard
Absolutely.
and as an individual county engineer, and then he would just be a part of your organization.
Well, Pritchard Engineering, yes, sir, exactly. Pritchard Engineering will still be Pritchard Engineering. That's why I mentioned, the ownership of it will be different, but the operation, the day-to-day operation of it will not be. Okay. So the county engineer isn't an individual appointment, and the firm, you write the check out to the, I don't know if you write it to Clyde individually or to Pritchard Engineering, but either, it looks exactly the same.
Thank you. I just want to make sure.
Yes, sir.
Nothing else, we certainly do appreciate you coming and certainly appreciate Mr. Pritchard.
Well, and just to follow up to Ben and the comments, folks, I'm as excited as I've been in a long time about having some help. And I'm thinking about the door. But that's, in all honesty, that's what I need to be doing. And we need to be putting things in place that the county don't miss a step going forward. Should something happen to me, or should I retire? I intend to work for as long as y'all have me. And I think the only difference you're going to see is we've got more help, more tools in the box to produce for you.
We certainly appreciate what you've done for us in the past, and we certainly appreciate you coming, speaking with the board and getting to know us and getting to know you. So we certainly do appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Need a motion to acknowledge our engineer. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Next on the agenda, we've got our road manager, Mr. Collins. Good morning.
Good morning.
Blank.
That's why I didn't get on the agenda. I had so much.
Lord, what you got?
Don't mind this man.
No, mine is gonna be real quick. You pass these around first. Actually, I just came to get some approval on removing some items. That's all I have pretty much. We still have the old chipper in-house. Didn't want to remove it until we had an opportunity to run the new one. We did run the new one. It did exceptionally well. They held on to it with great operational skills. So I feel like now it's time to move that one on to somebody else. And so with that being said, I would like the board approval to make it a disposal object and move it to the sale.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion?
Yeah, the new chipper. I would think they got more technology and gonna do a
Yeah,
better job.
it does. And we can't do the whole road at one time.
Right.
It's a little bit slower on the move, but being that it takes the whole road, it's a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So I hate to see this one go. I broke it in when it came here. I was the first one to sit in the seat of it when it was brand new. But it's time for it to move on.
The old one only take
You are the chipper. You are the chipper. The chipper. Also, we have a couple of other items.
Let us carry this one first. Any other discussion on the chipper? If not, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Okay.
All right, we have a couple of other items also we want to move into the surplus. One of them will be a air compressor, and the other one is a pressure washer.
Need a motion to declare these two items as surplus, so they can be entered as sale. Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Carver. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And the last thing on my list is, I'm gonna pass these around. We have a couple of crates of these, we have a couple of crates, if you pass it, just one picture. We have a couple of crates of these filters. Some of these filters were here when I was here before, and they have been upstairs collecting dust. We have went in and tried to get all of them crated up. We need to move them into surplus, and we'll also send those to sale.
Oil filters.
Oil filters, air filters, it's a number. It's for old equipment that we no longer have, and it's quite a bit of it.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Wayne, you got the tree part of it, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, that's it for me.
So the chipper is going to.
Yes.
Surplus.
Surplus.
We declared all of
Okay,
those.
that was, I'm sorry, everything.
All right, Mr. Collins.
All right.
We appreciate you. Thank you for what you
Y'all don't
do.
have anything for me?
No, we're gonna let you keep moving while you
Get rid of it while you can, huh?
Running on it.
You hadn't actually any money, so we.
I'm gonna try to make a little.
Next on the agenda, we got, motion by Supervisor Train, second by Supervisor Little, that we acknowledge our road manager report. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda, we've got our county administrator, Mr. Carter.
All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Move through this pretty quickly. The first item on my report is a resolution requesting assistance from Tom Bigby River Valley Water Management District regarding South Montgomery and Courthouse Road.
Make a motion, we authorize the resolution.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Second item on my report is an emergency resolution requesting Tom Bigby River Valley Water Management District assistance for Dry Creek Road Bridge, and that's an emergency resolution crafted in the manner in which Richard Herring had asked me to do so. This will help them speed up the process.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Third item is a recommendation for award of countywide tree cutting services. We have exhausted our previous contract. We opened this item up for bid. We received 2 bidders. The current contractor, one submitted the lowest and best bid. The reason that you have a resolution here is because there were some items that they left off of their bid request, and in order to declare them immaterial, we had to document why we chose him, even though he was not technically responsive with all items requested. So the resolution allows us to do that and justify why we selected him.
So we can do up to 200 trees?
Yes, sir. We increased that because we were trying to get to a year's work, but what we have last year.
Are we going to divide that equitably, or how are we going to divide it? I know y'all will get tired of me saying that, but I mean, hey.
I think we'll just, our road managers identifying the trees, what dangers need cutting, and I think, I hadn't had any issue anytime I see a tree that needs cutting, I just call him and he get it on the list. Is that how
He missing
They've
some of them.
gone and they've marked a whole lot
Yeah.
of trees.
Yeah, but he
You know.
missing some of them.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them that have been missed for about 2 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like you were saying, how can we make sure that all the trees in every district is being taken care of? And I have a lot of them that was just missed.
And the ones that marked it would fulfill this order right here. I mean, there's that many, they quit marking, you know, I know at one point there was 700 just in my district. It was like,
Yeah, there are some more, there are some additional
I
ones too
think
right
they-
now.
Yeah, don't you think they need to go back and take care of the trees they've already
Yeah, take
marked
care of trees.
first? And then if there's an emergency situation with a dead tree or something that's gonna fall on something that needs to be done, because I know I got a lot of trees that have been marked for several
and
years
they're calling and calling.
and have not been cut.
Well, and I guess the flip side of that, do we need to limit it? Why don't we just get the ones we need to get? I mean, I know you're saying you gotta have some kind of ceiling, but I mean, this thing is you don't wanna just, we keep coming back. So why do we have to keep coming back with a number?
Well, one reason you did it, I think. is-
And I know he bid it on 200 trees, but he
We
may get a better
We have to
bid.
bid it, for one thing. Now, you could set the limit higher. I raised the limit this time, trying to get to, you know, because we got to 150 so quickly. I'm just trying to step that thing up, you know. I don't think the intent is to necessarily limit it. We just have to go through a process in order to select, you know, the awardee, and that's what this process is. In order to do that, we have to define a number. It could be higher.
I'm gonna say go higher. Well, one thing is every time you bid it, it went down $55 a tree. You know, this time just do that instead of, because sometimes the contractors you open end it and leave it forevermore. They, you know, not saying this, but you need to check them every now and then. And I would say a motion, because he'd already cut in 20. I don't know, I can't do the math, but it's substantial. I'm saying if y'all do 300 on this, it's 54,200. So
At this point, I don't know if we can just add another 100.
Can't add it.
I will,
Back out
if
for
that's
bids.
if that's the desire of the board, I will get with Rob and we'll try and understand what procurement law will allow us to do. We could possibly do a change order.
Well, my motion is to approve this.
That's
But
right.
at the same time, we know where we need to go. So if I know there's some trees out there in my district, between now and the next time we do a contract, I need to be getting off it and identifying them trees. If I come up with 100 trees that are marked, then that needs to go into the number that we bid out, and that we'll get a better bid on having the trees. So I make the motion we approve this.
So do you all want to make a motion that we approve this, given the fact that the trees that's been marked be taken care of first before you?
But I think that was a given anyway, probably.
That's
they
what I'm
did.
thinking that we need to get, but I don't think the same company is the one that missed my trees.
I would say the ones
What's the
that,
for the last?
yeah, I don't know, anybody- I would say the ones they marked are
What's the
really, really obvious.
Which is on there, you know.
The marked trees, in my opinion, are the worst. They know they're they're sticking out, or, you know. We need to cut those, they've already been identified. That's 2
Some of
years
mine
ago.
is marked as right off.
So I'm assuming that they already marked, I'm sure that when it's.
They have.
That many.
But that's my motion.
I second that.
Okay. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little.
With the
Discussion.
amendment that the marked,
No, we're not gonna do an amendment. We already, I mean, that's already understood, but if y'all wanna add it, I mean,
I was saying the marked trees take precedent and leave 30 for emergency.
Well, at least, at least we can
Leave room for
relate to our
emergency.
road managers to relate to them to have the ones.
This
Any
price,
other discussion?
this price going up.
No, it's going down. And
this
I
is
think what's going on is,
It was
$545.
yeah, I think what's going on is this gentleman realized that this bid process is very public and everybody knows what he gets paid for these trees. So he felt like he, needed to come down a little bit in order to ensure that he was competitive.
I'll tell you, on the private market, that number is, easily 1,000. If they would come to your house and cut two.
More.
Yeah.
More, 3,000.
Or more.
Especially if it was around your house.
Yeah,
If it was around your house or something
Way
like
up there, right there. I don't know how
that.
you're doing it with value.
so we have to keep that in mind, yeah.
Well, and location, I mean, most of this stuff's right on the right of way. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
accessible.
So you want to clean it up, sweep it, haul it off? or-
It's not like you're cutting around someone's house now. If you go around someone's house and cut the tree down, it's okay. Over $1,000, but they think it's gonna hit the house.
We need to get them going today.
Yeah, my sister paid $4,000 for like 3 trees that were not that
But
big.
Rob has reviewed this contract,
They're
we've got
right
the
around.
contract ready, I'm prepared to send it to him. He provided all of his insurance documents, so soon as we can get it signed by Supervisor Howard and out to him, we'll be ready to roll.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
We had 2 invitations for bids for motor graders, one used, one new. About 24 hours before we were getting ready to open those bids, Vic called us and let us know that there was an error on the specifications. So we took the prudent measures to cancel those invitations for bids, to correct the specifications and reissue. We did not open any of the bids. It's a very strict process as to how we have to manage all of that. We had received a number of bids, but none of them were open. And so what I presented to you is 2 resolutions, and the reason you have resolutions is because you have to justify why you did what you did, and it's much simpler to do that in a resolution than try and do it in a real complicated board order. So I'll submit both of these to you for consideration.
So we're canceling the new and the.
Both of them have an
new and
error.
the used.
They've listed all-wheel drive, and of course, we don't need all-wheel drive. We're not doing snow and.
Canceling the new motor grader and the used motor grader.
And the used motor grader, and we're gonna rebid
Yeah,
them.
rebuild them.
That's right.
I want a motion on the first one to cancel for the new and the used motor grader.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Williams and second by Supervisor Trainer that we authorize this resolution for the cancellation of the new and the used motor graders. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Next item on my report is enter into an agreement with Ceasefire for redundant internet circuit. Right now, we have one circuit coming into the county. It's provided by AT&T, I think. Ceasefire. It's also provided by Ceasefire. So this second circuit provides redundancy. It increases our bandwidth. It also enhances security, allows us to separate out the public safety network from the administrative network. It's just another step in the process of trying to improve our cybersecurity and improve our network's ability to be resilient. I'll try to answer any questions that you may have.
So this is a circuit that will be in constant use. It won't be just sitting there waiting.
It's not necessarily a spare. It's going to be, we're going to split the two, we're going to split the county into 2 pieces. One would be for the administrative side and one would be for public safety. In the event that one of the circuits were to go down, we would still have the ability to utilize, to jump over onto the other circuit. But this helps to improve our cybersecurity stance as well as protect the data, especially with public safety.
And this is going to be sufficient with the 365 and all of the other things we've got going.
Yes, sir. And of course, you know, with 365, with the things that the sheriff's department is doing, we anticipate this will give us enough room to grow in bandwidth requirements as it relates to 911 and 365, so to ensure that we can have a big enough pipe going forward.
Motion.
Have I misstated anything, Carl?
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Next item on my report is
We didn't publicly announce the cost, and it's $1,075 per month. Just making sure we
We're glad to see the EMA bill. being provided, under that service.
Yes, it'll cover the 9, it'll cover all the public safety, which is EMA and the sheriff's department, that's correct, yes. Next item on my report is a request from, oh goodness, I can't think of their name, I didn't write it. Who is this organization?
Making their mark project?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to think who's sponsoring the project, though. I guess it is the Making Their Mark. It's a team, and I don't guess it's being sponsored by the MSU library. I guess the lady who's heading up the team just happens to work out there. But yes.
Is this the gentleman too?
Sir?
The gentleman too, been in the paper last week.
I'm not familiar.
Was you just talking with Brittany? Is that who you're?
No. I'm dealing with a Miss Dee Dee Baldwin. Well, and I guess Brittany is she's the one that's taken over as the committee chair for the Unity Park, and that's why I had sent it to her, because I was trying to recommend to Miss Baldwin that she's wanting to put it on the courthouse grounds, which doesn't bother me at all, except for the fact that we've got the Unity Park over there, which is our premier, place for trying to highlight things like this. We host events there during the year, and every year annually on Juneteenth, to honor folks. So I reached out to Miss Brittany to make sure she wouldn't have a problem with it, and she agreed to it. And Miss Baldwin is fine with it going over there. But she did actually request that it be on the courthouse grounds, and I don't fully understand her motivation for that, other than she wants it to be on public property. And once I explained to her that Unity Park was owned and was adjacent to and very prominent for this purpose, I think she's fine with it going in Unity Park.
I make a motion, we accept it, make a motion, we approve the report. And then Mr. Carpenter work out with the committee on the location that would be.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
No cost to the county?
No cost to the county.
The Mississippi Department of Archives and History has reached out to Hall County. They're going to make a visit on December the 9th. I've already replied as a department head and set my time, Sharon. I hope you've done so as well.
I was out last week.
That's right. If you didn't get that stuff, reach out to me, because this is going to be a pretty important visit, I think. But they're going to come down and look at all of our records, look at how we have them stored, make recommendations. They're going to also review with us the retention schedules for all this stuff, make sure we understand it. So it'd be a good training opportunity for folks like myself who, new to this county business. It'd be a first opportunity I've had to discuss record retention for my stuff. But what they noticed in reviewing all of our stuff is that there was a repealer placed into the board resolution and order from 2000, in the year 2000, that we participate in the record, the $1 record fee for the Chancery Clerk, the Justice Clerk, I'm trying to think who else is participating in that circuit. And so in order to get that fee reestablished and to get us compliant, we have to do another resolution. In this case, I took out the repealer so that it doesn't expire. So once we've approved it this time, it'll go on in perpetuity unless this board changes or the program is done away with in statute. So,
did you need some action on this?
yes, sir. I need y'all to approve the extension of our to reaffirm Hall County's participation in the local government records program.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes.
And getting this approved keeps us in compliance and allows us to apply for a $10,000 grant that they have. And I'm hoping that the lady that's coming gonna explain all of this to us better, and we might get a little bit of money for it. I was notified by the gentleman, Philip, what is Philip's last name? Carter, yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Philip Carter, who is the director of the Public Library, that Ms. Sue Minshew's appointment is expiring. I reached out to Ms. Minshew, and I did not get her on the phone, but Mr. Carter has assured me that she is willing to continue service with the library board.
I know she was excited about that.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little, that we reappoint Ms. Minshew to the Occidental County Library Board. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I've got two invoices here from Pritchard Engineering, one for the Bethel Road design and the other for the Sun Creek Road Bridge repair.
Make a motion to approve payment.
Second. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver. Any discussion?
Do we need separate motions on that?
No, we can put it together.
So we go.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I provided a listing of all the payroll changes that have come in since the last meeting.
Question on that, do you think it's a good time when you were talking about the 25 last meeting and these new hires and getting them sworn in and try to do that quarterly or monthly? Or?
It would be something that we would need to decide. I don't know that we've yet landed on it at this point. What the instructions y'all gave me was to discuss it with the department heads and provide them an opportunity to give feedback. I think that Ms. Franklin has established a deadline on department head feedback, December the 9th, the 5th. So we're waiting on that feedback to come in, and then we'll bring that back before the board. And once it's approved, we'll work through the details.
Second. Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer, that we approve payroll changes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Just one observation. Can we make the font bigger on the payroll changes?
It's a lot of columns on there in order to provide the information, but yes, sir, we'll take a look at it. The next two items for informational purposes only. I wanted y'all to be aware that the county is prepared to participate in the Starkville Christmas Parade, provide a little bit of information about what we did last year. Ms. Collier has updated some of that for current names and different things for what we're going to try and do this year. Just wanted to let y'all know that that's coming and that we're going to be working, trying to get prepared to do that.
Last year we had 2 vehicles.
Yeah, let's do 2.
We got 1 this year.
Let's do 2.
And she said that's fine. That's just basically lineup purposes. So if we have more than what we said or less than what we said, they just want to get us our number. So just if you have multiple board of supervisors together, just keep them together.
Motion to acknowledge. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And then finally, I've got the monthly grant report from UHY. I would like to remind the board that we're scheduled to meet with them at, I think it's
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, yes, on the 20th. So be thinking about what your priorities are as it relates to next year's grant strategy. And then finally, I have a piece of news that I've shared with Supervisor Williams. I got this in my mailbox this morning, or in my email. We were approved for the federal land They call it the flap. I
We
can't
got
think of
flap?
what. Yes, we did. We got approved for the flap grant in 2027. And, there's some paperwork we have to get together to submit that back. And, so I'm gonna be working with, Mr. Pritchard and some others trying to get all of that pulled together and we'll get that resubmitted. And so that's good news.
Good deal.
So to your question, that concludes my report.
We did a lot of work to get that grant.
In a very short period of time.
And then, Mr. Trainer, Supervisor Trainer, push was that resubmit it.
He sure did.
Resubmit it. We got it approved.
This is our third attempt at that, isn't it?
And that's that Bluff Lake project. I was gonna pave Bluff Lake project, but I'm glad I did not put those funds on it, so we're able to now use, those funds to pay.
Yeah, well, that's.
Appreciate it, Mr. Ball.
Mr. Baldwin will help.
Mr. Paul helped us out on that. He sure did. He worked hard for us.
Anything else for anything else for our county administrator? If not, motion to acknowledge. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carter. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, I see Chief Johnson's name here.
We have nothing unless you all have something for us.
Not today. Chancellor Clerk, Ms. Livingston.
Nothing today.
Okay. Board Attorney business, filling in for her dad.
Yes, I do have some things I need to address. He sent me with the settlement agreement between Capital Board. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
We need to go into
Executive session.
Closed session.
I'm so sorry.
Need a motion to go into closed session to decide if we need to go into executive. Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Carver. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Now we need a motion to go into executive session to discuss a lawsuit.
Won't be much. Won't be much to discuss. We just need to approve the recommendation. I want to see what we have to go and discuss.
Yeah, it's a lawsuit, so. Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. We're now in, We exited executive session with no action taken. We need a motion to accept the recommendation coming from our board attorney.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Is that it coming from our legal? Okay. Now we have county business. We'll start with Supervisor Little. You have anything coming out of 4?
Yes, we are working on a couple of bridges down there, and if you could please, before you leave, sign that paperwork, the emergency bridge, so we get it to Tom Bigby, because they wanna assist us while they're down there today.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Nothing coming from 1. Supervisor Trainer.
Any feedback from our financial advisors concerning our meeting we had a few weeks ago?
Nick Shore sent me an email late Friday asking, did he need to rush up here Monday morning for the board meeting? And I told him we're gonna have to postpone to December the 1st, because I want an opportunity to see what he's putting before y'all and make sure that he's got everything that we need before he comes. So I'm thinking December the 1st, we should have a report from him.
Commend the board for adjourning before the adjourn time. Commend the board for adjourning before the adjourn time.
Supervisor Williams.
Well, we had some conversation about establishing a trust fund, and that's all good. We also had some conversation with the board about how do we sustain it, how do we keep it, how do we not let future boards come in and we put it in trust fund, they come in and spend it. So sustainability as it refers to future boards is a concern for me, and how do we establish some type of guideline to keep that from occurring. So that's one of my concerns. Another one is there's a dumpster at the end of Top Road that apparently some heavy equipment hit it, and somewhat a deer dumpster. They want that deer dumpster removed and do not replace it. If we can think of another location for it, would be good.
I think that's probably the one that Marianne sent everybody a picture of. It looked like somebody just took some equipment and just crushed it for whatever the reason. But I guess Supervisor Williams, that's your district. I usually work with them and try and locate locations to place those deer dumpsters.
Right,
So
I'll come up with a location then. Other than that location, I'll come up with another location.
On the deer dumpsters, what would be wrong with us establishing a dumpster out of the landfill that would be designed for people to bring and dump those deer carcasses in?
You're nobody gonna run into the landfill.
Well, I mean,
if you live close, but I mean, I agree with what you're saying. You want to get them as far away, but most hunters, what you don't want, they start throwing them over the bridges if they're too far.
Or either do some type of educating, and I think that would, and of course that's the time we live in. We're gonna have to do, a little bit more educating people on even dumping stuff in the creek. You still got people that load stuff up on their truck and they'll do something illegal, when all they got to do is call the road department and put it roadside, we can come pick it up. So evidently they don't know, because to me it costs more to do it that way than it would be to just call someone. But with these deer dumpsters, no one wants the dumpster on their property. No one wants it. I mean, that area you're referring to, it's remote. I mean, you can't get more remote than that. But no one wants it on their property. And deer dumpster, deer season is open.
Stan McMahon wants it on his.
Well, he's a guy that does the process.
That's right.
But now, okay, so if he has one on his property, and and he lives where? I guess Sturgis.
Morgantown.
So
Yeah.
what do we have to do to maybe? I mean, one should be there, I would think, wouldn't it?
Say again, sir?
One should be there, right?
There is one there.
Okay.
And he allows public to use it. And of course, he uses it well. But we had discussions about the fact that he was using it being a commercial person, and I was like, oh my goodness, because nobody wants it on their property. if he's willing to have it on his property and allow everybody in that area to use it, then I say leave it there.
I mean, I support it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But I know out in my area, I mean, I'm in it would be ideal for the landfill. Yeah, it would cost you to have to go a little distance, but at the same time, if you want to do the right thing, I think that would be the driving factor. But, I mean, I don't know anybody that just wants one on their property.
I have a guy that moved the one on Neely's named Mike Parrish. I was gonna ask y'all about that. He didn't want it here, he wanted it here, half a mile away from his house, so he apparently picked it up, or they dropped it off there, and I kind of told me what he did. He told me, I said, well, as long as people still know where it's at, because that either gets very, I mean, this is the South, and there's gonna be a lot of deer here the next couple of weeks, and I think more the merrier.
Benny know where it's at.
You gotta have people use them. I mean, they know where they're at. There's people that drive 4, 5, 7 miles, but
we still storing some out of the old city landfill, right?
I think Benny's got them and placed them, you know, after deer season, we move them out that store. But at the beginning of deer season, he moves them to a different location.
we ever put it in the paper here, the location? People ask me all the time, they may be in your district, and I'm like, I don't know. I know my districts are, but I mean, that's public needs. If they know, they'll use them. I mean, alternative, they're gonna start slinging them everywhere. And
anyway, I just thought about it.
Well, I think, you know, we can do what we can to educate the public about locations, but I also like Supervisor Carr, so I don't think they're gonna drive halfway. They're gonna throw them things. I mean, you can drive by some bridges now and you see a bunch of buzzers sitting down. It's because they threw carcasses. So we just have to keep battling. Not just with that, but like you said, with dumping trash. And I've had twice I've had to call and get some trash couches from underneath the bridge, and just so.
And since you mentioned that, y'all might have seen the special that was on, well, I guess it was a news report in Lowndes County about the challenge they're having with that gentleman. And so we got the same thing here in our city hall as far as with people with properties that are unkept. And I remember one time we took some action on some stuff. We may have to revisit looking at some stuff, but I've got several places that, you know, I've been just kind of looking the other way. But with the way the county is growing and with some of this unkept property and things of that nature, that's going to become more of a concern.
The city has a, what is it? Yeah,
the county has a statute. Well, we don't have an ordinance, but there's a state
statute. The city has an ordinance on clean health on your property.
There is a state statute?
There's a state statute that deals with that. But now, on the about it is the board doesn't really want to get into that, has not in the past. But you know, you got some places that, I mean, people call me and say, man, we got to do something. And I'm just, you know, you like both of the people, even the one that's complaining, the one that's doing it. And you don't know which way to go, but at the same time, it is a quality of life issue. And I got a situation in my district where there's some encroachment on the right of way. But when I built the road, the guy gave me the right of way. But now he's encroaching into the right of way. And it's dangerous.
Junk car and just trash.
Yeah, lit it up along the highway.
But since you take the right of way, it's the county's right of way.
Yes, county right of way. But the thing about it is, does the county want to take the initiative to go in and clean up the right of way along with cleaning up his property? Which, I mean, you know, the community would say, yeah, they'd be glad to do it. But at the same time, you know, I know people say that's why people move into the county, but you know, something like that is, it can be very frustrating every time you go home and you turn and you see that.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And you're like, yeah, what can I do about it?
I have, was that Supervisor Williams, was that it coming from?
Yeah, that was it. Thank you.
I have nothing from District 3. Motion to adjourn.
Recess of Thursday at 8.
Thursday at 8. Motion to recess Thursday. Motion by Supervisor Train, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Y'all have a great day.
That's an emergency. I'm gonna try and get Richard